Hi, gentlemen, critics nation, fellow critics. We are here. We're gonna talk about Spotlight. I am very excited. I love this movie. One of my favorite movies this year. Um, well, as you guys know, we always are gonna be doing movie reviews at 20 minutes. So I'm gonna hit the timer and we're gonna start talking about it in five, four, three, two, one. Okay. First things first, right off the bat. Oh my God, this movie.
That's the best way to put it. That's all we need right there.
Start off.
When
That's
I first watched this movie, the very first scene, it's so great and it fits so well because it shows you it's awkward and it's meant to be awkward because you are being just thrown into this police station and these two Southie cops and they're just talking about this and you don't really grasp the full weight of the situation and what this priest has been doing to these kids, but the whole movie will make you retrospectively think about that scene at the very end. You know what they're going through, and oh gosh, well, to put it all in perspective, I've said it multiple times. I feel that this is a story before it's a movie. This was a story, and it was a newspaper article. And when the writers of this film, set out to write this, I think they weren't really exactly sure what they were going to do. They just had an idea. And then they sat down and they started to research the story. They started to uncover what was really going on and how this all happened and it almost put itself together. And it just flows so well. The whole story and the movie just takes over. And there's so many great scenes that I think really just continue to ramp up and accelerate the pace of the movie all the way up until Monday morning when they come in and the phones are ringing off the hook. Jesse, what do you think?
Yeah, Spotlight. Spotlight's another movie where I had to wait till after Oscar season, after everything came out to really get into. This movie was so well made in so many aspects. It did its source material justice. It had great character acting, especially by Mark Ruffalo as Michael Resendez,
Hmm.
but great performances all around. I could see why the Academy gave this movie of the year. Just so many parts, and it. One thing I said when I kind of reviewed it before is that it shows me. I said it shows me truth and nothing but the truth, and that is all I needed. Just what this movie was able to make you feel. It's I don't know. It makes you feel a little bit weird, a little bit happy, a little bit sad, all in
Hmm.
the same time at the end of this film. And my favorite line from this movie, delivered by Michael Keaton, is when he's talking to the lawyer. We're writing two stories here, one about degenerate clergy and one about a group of lawyers turning child abuse into a cottage industry. Now, which story do you want us to write? Because we're writing one of them. I mean, is I
What a powerful line.
what a
it's such
one
a
power.
powerful statement to like sitting in front of a lawyer that has as much power as he does, we can assume.
Hmm.
It it shows you how far he was gonna go for
Yeah,
this. It
he
shows
wasn't
you
going
he
to
was gonna
stop.
exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, Michael.
It's like Michael Keaton says in the film. That is this just how it works in Boston? One guy leans on another guy, and we all turn the other cheek. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's taking this whole system on, and he knew the moment that it grew from one priest to 13. You could see it in his eyes that this wasn't something he was going to give up on. He could tell it was bigger, and he really, actually, you could see that he could tell it was bigger when the new editor brought it up in the very first staff meeting. You could
Yeah.
see the
Very
interest. He
true.
was
Very
thinking
true.
you could just just see it in the face, and that's a testament to, like you said, the character acting. Michael Keaton, I mean, just did a phenomenal job, especially facially. I think throughout that film, he really sold the emotions of every moment he was acting to me, and ugh, ugh. Like you said, Jesse, emotion in this film.
Just so many emotions just hitting you all at once. This it did its story justice. It's about the everyday hero in all of us that we can only hope to aspire to be. So it did a great job. Alex, take it away.
I mean, the first thing that I would want to talk about when someone asks me, why'd you like Spotlight? What about it made you so interested in it? It was how real everything felt. Now, granted, yes, based on a true story, we all know that, we're all aware of that, but it coming off the screen and seeing everything play out, it all looks like you're watching it happen in real time. It doesn't look edited or anything. It just preaches the truth.
Yeah,
And
we're
it
totally in
teaches
this
you what's
world.
right and wrong. Essentially, that's
Yeah.
a pretty core concept of it. And I mean, winning best original screenplay right there is more than enough to tell you what kind of movie this is.
Yes.
It felt like we were in their world.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the Boston Globe watching the Spotlight team unravel all this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
damn right. Yeah.
Really.
And I think that's why it was so easy for the Academy to look at it and be like, "Wow, this film is just open to everybody. Everybody can sit down and watch this movie and just be absolutely blown away by it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree. I mean, the reason that I think that I love this movie, I mean, obviously there's so many reasons, but one of the things that I particularly like, and like you said, it won, having won Best Original Screenplay, is a testament to, as I was saying before, when they, as the writers, started really truly investigating this, it all felt like it came together in the movie. And there's a point I'm going to talk about later on in this episode. I'm going to talk about some of our favorite points and moments in the film. But I just feel like one of the great things is that by making a movie about the process of uncovering this story allows you not only to recover the story, but tell the stories that we haven't learned yet. Like how there was people in the globe getting this information and burying it. And the fact that one of those people was Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I mean, what a
Spoiler
story to tell. And you could not have told that unless you were writing a screenplay for a film. And that I loved so much.
Yeah, it deserved Best Original Screenplay.
Yes.
I feel the movie. I mean, it works on just so many levels. Yeah, the acting, it runs very smoothly, just like a story should, and yeah, all parts work together very well, I would say.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kyle brought up a very interesting point earlier on. You've probably heard us mention Spotlight before in one of our past episodes. As the movie's going on, the team is uncovering more and more things, and as the viewer, it feels like the writers of the movie were going along that same thing. The more and more they wanted to write, and the more they wanted to be truthful about it. They kept discovering more, and then the movie just kept getting more and more and more, and it was a constant uphill as far as emotions go.
Yeah, it didn't need a lot of car chases and explosions to keep your attention in this film. All you needed was facts and
Mark Ruffalo running around Boston.
Mark Ruffalo running around Boston. You always need that in a great trailer. You just need somebody just running towards the camera, just like
I love the scene where Mark Ruffalo is running, and he's literally just jogging, and then he just jogs to the globe. And I was like, if they didn't want you, if you were curious whether or not they wanted you to take note that Mark Ruffalo runs, they made sure and let you know that this character runs.
They had to get that point across. It's a very important detail about his character. He keeps going. He keeps pushing. That's what they're aiming for.
But that brings us right to a great thing I think we need to talk about. And Jesse, you brought it up. This is such a great example of character acting. And like I've said before, to you guys personally, one of the things I loved about this film was that they were able to go meet these people. They weren't trying to
Yep.
portray somebody else's idea or all these other people's idea of how these people were. They could talk to the actual people and really learn how, their mannerisms, who they are, and by getting that kind of access that you don't normally get when character acting, they were able to just take on these roles, and that leads into what Alex said. It becomes so real and believable. They're human.
Yeah, it definitely does show us also that how important kind of the old media is with newspapers and everything, because it's like
Yeah.
these people, they're just doing their jobs, but they're doing it so well. um it's a great story. It was conveyed so well. I
One of the
don't know.
things that I noticed while watching it most recently was they do a great job of making you feel like the Spotlight team doesn't really care all that much about the petty things like hours, how many hours am I getting? It doesn't feel like they really care too much about their salaries or anything. They
They
are
just
legitimately here for the story.
that's what I think makes it more of a special kind of feeling to the movie. Not so much okay, they're just looking for facts. Like no, these characters are alive and they're trying to help these victims, and there's no shortage of charisma from anybody either. It's not like they're all monotone with it.
Yeah. And I think Michael Keaton especially, you really immediately get it from Mark Ruffalo, and you immediately get it from Rachel McAdams. I mean, Sasha Pfeiffer, of course, so you immediately got that. But Michael Keaton is sort of warm. You got to warm up. He gave that speech, and it felt a little stale. It felt, and I think
I
that is almost on purpose. But once the story starts unraveling, he as a character opens up.
I do think that
Like
Rachel McAdams did need a running scene. I think everybody needed a running scene, really, not just Mark Ruffalo. Like,
I think we needed Tom Cruise in this movie just so he could run.
he can run so well.
There is no one better in Hollywood at
he can,
running than Tom Cruise.
Man,
he's always running.
he
In
could be the
every
running
movie
man. What do
ever.
you
We
like,
should we
Arnold?
should bring back movies that have scenes where people run in the rain. Simply so
Yes.
Tom Cruise can have more running scenes.
Like, why couldn't we have Tom Hanks come in there? He couldn't just been running by while other people were running. I don't understand. So he could have been running past him with the beard and everything, with the
That would
Bubba
have been
Gump
hilarious.
shrimp hat.
Yeah,
It would
but
have been. He had to run through Boston at some point.
at some point.
He ran for 3 years.
That's now canon. Spotlight and Forrest Gump take place in the
Same
universe.
universe.
I gotta pee. Okay, back to
Okay.
Spotlight.
That's something you guys are gonna find out, viewers. We love Forrest Gump so
Greatest
much.
movie of all time,
Greatest movie of all time,
in our opinion.
in our very correct opinion.
Yeah, probably not in your opinions, but
But yes, back to Spotlight. I wanted to say before we get into favorite scenes, I wanted to say this. I haven't had an emotional connection at the end of a movie, and I haven't been touched emotionally by a film in a couple years quite like
Wow.
this movie did. I mean, by the time they were rolling the statistics over the screen and showing all the areas affected by this, I was mad. I was legitimately angry. I felt it. I felt this just I felt it felt so wrong. And there was nothing I could do about it, and this movie is making me feel this way. This film, and I'm not even Catholic.
It's very real. That's what it is.
I think in regards to the not the credits, the information at the end of the movie, like you just mentioned, Kyle, it in a weird kind of way it makes you happy though, because it kind of let you see all these places and all the different countries around the world that this was going on, and you got to think that's that many people that they brought justice to. You got to think about that too. You got to think about the positive outcome out of all of this. Like all those people, what was it? There were 200 and something priests in the
Almost
Boston area,
250 priests in Boston alone.
and over 1,000 cases.
Yeah.
And you got to think that's like justice being brought to all
They're
those
the true
people. So it's almost
superheroes of life.
Yeah,
exactly,
it's
and
You
that's
know,
they're
you
the
know.
small heroes.
I
Nobody's
was kind, you
hero.
know, like I compared them kind of to Oscar Schindler and Schindler's List.
a good comparison.
It's he's also one of those people. You're just like, that's a real life superhero. It doesn't look like he did that much by only saving like 1,500 Jewish people, but that is huge.
Huge.
And it's like, just yeah, it's just it. There are some truly, and I love when movies convey that when regular people can do so much and become heroes like that. That's why Forrest Gump is one of
We
my
are
favorites because
we are sitting at about 16 minutes here, so we got 4 minutes left.
yeah.
I think we should just quickly go around the table here, and we should talk about our favorite scenes in Spotlight. I'm gonna go first here.
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite scene in the whole movie is when I feel that it moves from a great film to the best picture, and that is when the very first victim they meet one on one, and he brings his box of evidence that he sent them 5 years ago, and you could just tell in the way that this guy is acting, and props to him on a great performance, such a small part but so memorable, and
Right.
just sold me immediately. I was like, this is so real. This is something that we need to be looking at, and I don't know, it was an inspiring little moment. My favorite scene in the film.
Jesse, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh man, so many scenes that just are made very perfectly from good writing. Um, I you know I don't know if I can really narrow it down to a favorite scene. I can maybe give a couple. Maybe one of my favorite scenes is when he's talking to the one guy. Michael Keaton goes to the guy's house,
Oh
and
yes.
Yeah,
he's like
yeah,
he's bothering him like a third time. He's just like, hey, I need you to confirm this if we're or else we're not gonna run it. And they have this whole, he tells him that Michael Keaton to get out of his house, and then they go out to the car, and he's like, really, you come here? And he's like, give me the paper. He gives him the paper. He looks at the list. He circles everything.
Every name. He says every single one.
Yeah,
I can confirm.
and it's just one of the things that the movie does so well. It just pushes the pace. You learn new information, and this one, it just kind of brought it home for me. It was just like, yeah, this is truly screwed up situation. All these people are at fault.
I love that scene. Completely agree.
it's a very good scene.
Alex, you got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes left.
Favorite scene, hands down, because it gave it. I think it pushed emotion the hardest up until this point. Besides seeing or meeting the victims and the survivors and all that, which had happened previously in the movie, Mark Ruffalo, when they have the confirmation of at least one priest happening and at least one person, somebody up in the clergy saying, "Oh, we'll make it look like it never happened" or whatever, completely ignoring it and allowing it to happen. Mark Ruffalo is on 5, 6, 7 minute rant, just
Yeah.
That
about
was
everything that is right, talking about how everybody in the room could have been that kid that the
Yep.
priest chose, and you almost felt fear coming
Yeah.
from him, knowing that this kind of thing was going on.
yeah, it could have
As
been
often as it
anybody.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I completely agree. That scene was super super powerful.
yeah,
Powerful. It's very powerful.
Oh
yeah. Really
man.
though.
Okay.
I think, Kyle, before we right when we end off, I think we should all give our star reviews for it. What is our final ratings, guys, for Spotlight? Where's Kyle?
I am going to give Spotlight a 5.
Wow. There you go.
Alex?
I'm gonna settle with a 4.5. It
All
was
right.
just nearly perfect, and I loved it.
Yeah. I'm gonna also say 4.5 star rating. It did everything it was supposed to do. I give a movie a 4.5 star rating when it's like it's almost there. It's like almost perfect, and that's kind of where it lies. So it did a lot of things right. There might be some stuff wrong with it, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5 star rating as well.
Awesome.
So overall, a phenomenal movie.
Yes, highly
Yes.
recommend from all of us. Please watch if you haven't. Thanks for listening. This was our review of Spotlight. Our next part that's going to be coming up is we're going to be talking about the Arkham series video games. Look forward to hearing you guys' feedback. We are Gentlemen Critics.